I'm UFC Hall of Famer Pat Milicic.
I'm naturopath Doc Will Spencer.
I'm mindset expert Nicholas Spone. If you want to detoxify your cells, remineralize your body, and live up to your true health potential, you've come to the right place.
We are the Cell Saviors. So we're going to talk about athletic endurance, recovery, all those types of things. And so you, for instance, back in college, I think it was, roughly 20 years old, you grew up your entire life, as I did, with respiratory problems. Feel like I felt anyway, like I was breathing through a straw full of mucus my entire childhood. And you basically went through the same thing due to ag chemicals living on the farm, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, so that's a very limited childhood. To not be able to breathe, to suffer from illness, which relates to all aspects of life, right? So I went through that as well, but I always competed in athletics, wrestling, football, things like that. And I was then in martial arts. And I knew that if I was going to be great and a world champion, that I had to be able to breathe. So I started doing research and was able to collect a few substances of what I thought was going to help me, and it did. Lo and behold, 10 days later, my breathing was crystal clear through a giant PVC tube, is what it felt like to me anyway. And I was able to do great things athletically, run as fast as I wanted for as long as I wanted, dunking basketballs at 5'10", ridiculous things that I never dreamed of being able to do, and of course winning a world title. Fast forward to 2025. The world is far more toxic than 38 years ago, 4 decades ago almost, when you and I were able to change our health and our trajectory in life. So the Regen kit is so much better than the substances I was using even back then to be able to achieve those levels. So those components are going to help in cellular function, mitochondrial energy production, DNA repair, reducing inflammation, making it easier to breathe, all those different things. Because these are the highest grade substances, nutrients found on the planet, and also the highest grade probiotics to monitor the human system that we have been able to find in our research of a combined 80 years, right?
Right.
You know, so when you observe all the 25,000 patients, for instance, that you've dealt with over the years who have health issues, your observation of people changing their trajectory in their life, explain some of that, and then how that would translate to an athlete going from mediocre or good to great and standing on a podium.
So it comes to the fuel for the body, really, and then the degradation of the body we have now, because the food system is very depleted. It just is, and we're polluted. Everyone's been hearing about all these different chemicals and just things that are very bad for us all over the place. And so when you take these substances in the regeneration kit, they clean out, detox, they get those substances out. And
That are hindering the body and the cells.
absolutely hindering the body. It's
Right.
It's like that mucus, for instance, that you were talking about before, that definitely you can't breathe.
Right.
Your body is responding to something that's a healing or a immune response to something going on.
Sure.
And so when you clean that out or aid the body in cleaning that out and then putting these high-grade substances into the body, it's like putting rocket fuel in your car instead of water or something. I mean, just mud or whatever. So you're really putting high-grade fuel, nutrition into the body, and so the body can then express like it's supposed to. It just runs better, it feels better, sleeps better, it recovers better after hard workouts or hard work period.
Yeah. And we're not consulting just high school and college athletes, which by their own standards, are achieving greatness. But we're talking about, we've worked with Major League Baseball players, NFL players, Major League Soccer players. You can imagine running at that level in a professional soccer league game. That's a whole different level of endurance that these people have. World-class ultra runners, marathoners, swimmers, all the way down the line. And they're all breaking their own PRs. They're doing things they never dreamed of doing athletically, endurance-wise, recovery, all of these things. So that the regeneration kit literally is the unfair legal advantage to put these athletes at a whole different level. And it's so good, in fact, that professional athletes, when I say, dude, you're one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball, like you're top 5%. Could you please give me a plug to do that? And he goes, no way. He goes, I am not going to put myself out of a job, because he doesn't want anybody else to know about his secrets, right?
Right.
So that's what I'm talking about. So I've got to talk about these things. You and I have to talk about these things to let people know that it is literally the legal advantage to put them on a whole different level athletically.
Absolutely. And on the other end of that spectrum, we have construction workers, we have
Farmers, all kinds of
all these people that they're not professional athletes, but they are definitely athletes.
Yeah.
Because when you have a 75-year-old man that's still working construction, climbing on roofs and everything, I get to hear these kinds of things before he's in bed, can't work,
Yeah.
can only show up for work 1 or 2 days a week.
Right.
Now he's working 6 days a week, 74 years old, and all over that building.
Yeah.
And so you have, that's an athlete as well,
Sure.
in my book.
And then we talk about the combat veterans we've worked with and active military, tier 1 operators, who are exposed to toxins in the environment at a higher rate than probably any of us besides maybe farmers, right?
Right.
So those guys have to constantly monitor and clean their bodies out and operate at the highest possible level because their life depends on it. And so the broad spectrum of people that can benefit from this it's everyone.
Everyone can benefit from the Regen Kit.
Yeah. So let's talk about athletes hitting a wall, depleting their bodies of the needed essential nutrients, and just basically falling apart. I mean, we see injuries at a higher rate than we've ever seen in sports right now because bodies are falling apart. And people are just getting to the point where they'll skyrocket for quite a while and then just fall off way earlier than they used to, let's put it that way. So, how would you relate that, in your terms of understanding, the extensive understanding that you have, to nutrient deficiencies and how that happens, in other aspects, maybe areas?
So there's a systemic nutrient deficiency everywhere, and the human body is really the result of the deficiencies in the food chain. So over farming or farming and not putting back the right nutrition into that soil, the food is becoming depleted, and then we're eating that. And then so generationally, we're just depleting ourselves faster and faster and faster. And so we're not able to replenish our fuel and rebuild ourselves in a fast, productive way because we just don't have the elements there to do so.
So as the nutrients go away, which they've gone away for decades out of our soil and out of our food, it's almost like human beings are becoming more and more fragile. Now, of course, we still see freak athletes that are able to perform. They're genetic freaks, whatever. And they've also probably got a few secrets that we've got, right? But many of those athletes, just human beings in general, aren't as durable as they used to be.
They definitely are not.
Good way to put it, I guess.
That's a really good way of putting it, because you can't have the durability if you don't have the tools and the support in the body to have the durability. The durability is an outcome of something.
Right. So mediocre vitamin mineral supplement that's not bioavailable, the vitamins many times are synthetic, for instance. The minerals are rock dust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct in that area?
Right.
About 95% of them are just not bioavailable. So people think that they're putting the minerals and the vitamins needed back into their body. It's not producing energy, cellular. It's not repairing DNA. It's just not benefiting the rebuilding of the body on a daily basis for them to endure the rigors of the training that they mentally expect themselves to be able to do. Would that be a good way to put it too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't expect to build healthy cells from deficient, low vitality supplements and food.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is the building blocks for a world-class athlete or just a good high school athlete, right? We want to be able to put the proper minerals in the right form, the right vitamins, all these things, the omegas, everything into the body for them to be able to endure the most horrific possible training that I expected out of my athletes anyway, for them to be able to come back day after day after day after day for year after year after year and win a world title and then hold that world title for years, right? That has to be there, that foundation has to be there, or there's no use in even training someone and giving them all of that knowledge for them to attain that level. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work at all, because you have to have exceptional nutrition coming in to have that kind of performance.
Thank you for listening to the Cell Saviors podcast. To learn more about the Cell Saviors mission or to buy the minerals and probiotics your body needs to thrive, visit cellsaviors.org.
This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider before making health decisions.